Okay, listen. So, wow. Connect to a speaker. If you can hear, let me tell you something, okay? What I'm about to tell you might and probably does sound horribly delusional, but if you work really hard, let me tell you something, okay? I'm not a small man, all right? I'm a pretty big man, okay? You can see that? Big guy, whatever. But now imagine, and I just started doing hard labor for employment probably 3 months ago, and you've seen the pictures on social media if you follow me. Um, I was big before that, you know. When I was like 9 years old, my I miss her, God rest her soul, but I did not agree with my mother and her trying to get me labeled as someone who was not capable of doing stuff, which is completely and utterly untrue. I'm very 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 smart, and I'm not a danger to myself or others. As people, some people claim that it's just because I'm an edge lord, and some people are snowflakes, and that does not combine. So, but I was on Adderall for all the way up till I was about 18 years old, and and by the way, people wonder, excuse me, how I've done, all the things I've done, even before I had money and got employed and stuff. Well, when I was in high school, I never took my Adderall. I just sold it. I took it, but I took it when I wanted to. But I used to make a lot of bank. As you have heard in some of my story times, you really follow my channel, but I'll repeat it anyways. Um, I sold my Adderall from actually technically elementary school in sixth grade, through middle school and into high school. And my best friend, the only reason I got caught was because my best friend snitched on me because people did not want to rat on me because I wasn't a dangerous person, but I wasn't a person you wanted to piss off because I would find a way to get you back, and it wouldn't be through physical harm, it would be through mental. um, but that's all besides the point. It doesn't matter. That none of that matters. It's unprovable. It's all gone. Everything's gone. Everything on this whole channel is unprovable. And if I got caught for it, I did my time and shit. So fuck right off. But what I'm basically making this video for is just to marvel at how much I've evolved. I mean, I went from a long-haired, super shy, skinny, high voiced teenager who wore glasses and barely had any facial hair to a not even near as shy. I'm still antisocial per se, a little tiny bit, but it's every single week that passes, I'm noticing myself become more and more comfortable and not scared of people and their fucking bullshit. But I went from all that stuff I just mentioned to a extroverted. I don't have a full beard quite yet, but it's coming in. I got LASIK eye surgery, so I can see now. And ever since I stopped taking my Adderall, my muscles have gotten bigger and bigger each year. I basically, not to sound like insane by saying this, but I turned into an elite human being. I cut my hair. I literally transformed into a completely different person in the span of 5 years. Completely, though. I was skinny, spoke to no one, had long hair, wore glasses, no facial hair, and had not as much of this, fucking stuff on this channel, this project I've been working on, And the thing in my channel is a project to this completely different person. This person that is a big dude, doesn't give a fuck, extroverted. I can see I have facial hair now, and I have ink too, which is pretty cool. And I'm working 2 jobs, making about $800, $900 a week. And I'm fucking basically like completely different. You know, I just think it's like I've observed that over the web. I've always wanted to make a video like this and never really came around to do it until now. I think that the way I evolved was nothing short of insanely elite because and I'm still evolving. My entire plans. I'm not going to reveal the place I work, but the place I work, just trust me when I say I will be able to get my CDL in the next maybe probably 4 years through seniority and a lot of hard work. But money's money, anyways. I don't think of it as like, ugh, why do it? I think of it as, well, I'm getting paid to do this anyways, and by the time I get my CDL, I'm gonna have like $1,000 a week, and then I'll be able to afford more ink. That's why do you think my father? Let me tell you something. If you want to really look into my other parts of my life and my Instagram, it's all over my YouTube channel. I'll say it again. It's called King Shane is God, which is still stupid, but it's a username that hasn't been taken, and I'm gonna keep it forever. um, but you will see that my father has a 3-story home in the city of Buffalo, which isn't in a bougie area, but it's in a regular neighborhood, so it wasn't cheap. Um, he rents out. I've observed my father over years. He rents out the top 2 floors, and he lives on the bottom. And it's one of them rectangle houses, so it's definitely livable. Like an entire floor is an entire apartment basically. It's fucking sweet. I saw his home. He has, like I do in this room, as you've seen my tours. He has things all over. My father has busted his fucking ass. I'll tell you, you know what? And actually, it's weird because this video is going up on May 5th. My biological father just turned 50. My biological father was born on May 5th, 1975. So today, in 2025, he's 50 years old. Happy birthday, Pops. I'm going to tell you your story a little bit. That's what I learned from my father. So my dad's father, which is my grandfather, and my grandfather's father, which is my great grandfather, were both Navy SEALs in the in the United States military. Sorry, it's late for me. And growing up, I'm not really sure what happened, but I'm gonna assume that he was growing up under the same sentiment, because in 1993, when my dad was 18 and the Bills had gone to their third out of 4 Super Bowls, um, he enlisted in the service in the same area of the military that our ancestors have served very well in. I'm not going to say what he did overseas, but you can imagine it wasn't the best stuff, but that's the luck of the draw, right? Well, after he is released with his pension in 1997, the first thing my father does is uses his pension, just like I'm doing now, and did, to get a vehicle. I'm just saying this stuff because people like it's always been in me, But he got a vehicle. He used that to get a job. He used his job and his continued monthly pensions to get an apartment. And his job originally, he started off as a machinist. And then over time, we're talking about after I was born, maybe like 03, 04, after I was his last child. He had 3 kids, which is great. My 2 half sisters on his side, are both from the same mother, and I am from a different mom, which is fine. Who cares? I think that's fucking funny. But and he was getting married. Again, I mean, say what you want, but my father's got Riz, I mean, he divorced his ex-wife in a little while before I was born, which is why he had a kid with another woman, because he was divorcing her because she was very controlling to him. So he said, "Fuck you, bitch, get out of my life." he had me with my mother, and then kind of fucked off. I think he just made an impulsive decision upon having me. But I'm so glad I was born. I think my existence is integral to this world. I don't give a fuck what anybody says, Linda or anybody fucking else. I think my existence is more than integral to the succession of this planet. um, he then, a little while after I was born, gets engaged to a woman because I've seen her on his social media, and she unfortunately passes away from an overdose. My father, one thing I will say is my father and we don't believe in hard drugs. Have I done them, and has he probably done them? Yes, but we are very. It sounds so stupid, but my father and I are very, 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 very intelligent people, and there's a switch in our brains. Another thing I'm going to say, the reason I started this video too, my voice has gotten deeper because what I do is I smoke cigarettes, but I smoke them on and off. Usually I'll have like maybe 3 beers, and then I'll just have like blow down like 2 or 3 cigarettes, and that's it. By doing that over time, by smoking and not smoking constantly, I have traumatized my body enough to where it's gotten used to it. I basically made my body almost immune to getting addicted to things because I not only is it with the cigarettes, I've done every drug in my life under the sun. I swear to God, too, under the sun, except 2 drugs, meth and heroin. Now, what my father's fiance ends up dying from was a heroin overdose. My dad's fiance dies from a heroin overdose, but he wasn't partaking. That's how smart. He wasn't partaking in it, but he wasn't necessarily stopping her either because he doesn't like to control people. That's the common theme with me and my father. I do not like control. I hate that. I hate controlling people. Hate that. Anyways, after all this, he goes through a grieving process. I believe either in 07 or 08 because his fiance died in 05. He's never really dated since, which I don't blame him. Because love is a nightmare. I do believe so. Because I've been through my own slew of horrible women, and I don't want to do it again. And I respect women. I love women, but I think a good majority of women are hypocritically evil. I think women are not evil. They're good. I mean, you know what I'm trying to say, though. I mean, I have been through so much shit myself that in between like Linda and a lot of my ex-girlfriends, I will never date a person again. Ever. I'm going to hustle. You know what? I'm actually, it sounds delusional, but it's true at this point. I'm starting to replace my lust and need for love with money, meaning like hustling. I get more pleasure out of just looking at my paycheck and my bank account rise at the end of the week versus seeking an active relationship. I'm so serious. And I used to get like insecure. I don't give a fuck. I've lost my virginity. I've had sex, and I it's nothing special. I now realize that it's not about being a virgin or being a cool guy. I think labels and ideology like that is fucking stupid. I think it's the dumbest, lowest fucking shit in the world. I don't feel a need. I don't care if someone calls me a fag or whatever they call me because I could give a fuck at this point in my life. I actually do not care about anything but money and making it. And I don't give a fuck if people have a problem with it. I don't give a fuck if I don't care what happens. I don't anymore. Not in like a delusional sense, but in a if it don't involve money or paying my bills or paying the IRS and staying out of jail, then keep it the fuck away from me. Or if it's not fucking music or fun activities with legit people, then keep it the fuck away from me. I'm so fucking heavy on that shit, dude. It's not even funny. Anyways, my father becomes he goes back to trade school and gathers the materials he needs, practices, executes, and ultimately gets hired with an asbestos removal company and makes a fuck ton because that shit's dangerous, but he's smart. People always say, "Oh, don't do asbestos removal because it gives you cancer." It won't give you cancer if you're not a fucking idiot when you do it. See, my father doesn't have cancer because he's not fucking stupid. He wears his suit properly. You know, it's fucking dumb. But my father, I will say one thing about my father is my father is has more money than he portrays because he has a big home. He has a giant I think it's a Camaro Superstar, and it's like tricked out. It's pretty cool. He's got a motorcycle. He's got a ton of dogs. But you want to know how he has this stuff? Because he does a couple side hustles. I'm not going to actually mention, but the side hustles I will mention is, again, he rents out his house, which is already, besides the work he's doing, an extra $1,400 a fucking month, which I think that's genius. He Another thing my father does, which is smart, is he's a dog. He breeds his Dobermans and sells them, and he makes this art out of like skulls and shit. I'm not even trying to sound like a narcissist when I say this. When I discovered who my father was in 2018, I was nervous at first to see who my dad was, because who you come from, in my mind, how my mind works, it was going to determine how I felt about myself. And I couldn't be any more happier, because I think my father is not only just like me, he's an edgelord and a legend, but my father is a wicked genius. Wicked genius. And, but that's what I've observed. But he's so smart. I mean, you can tell that he knows what he's doing because he has all that stuff, like I said, and his entire body is covered with ink. And you know what I discovered about tattoos is they are expensive. But that's why my ultimate goal, my ticket to the sunset fucking trip, is I'm going to get my CDL. It's now at this point, between the jobs I work and where my job lets me train, it's not a matter of if I get my CDL. It's a matter of when. And I'm not playing the game no more. I'm not playing these stupid games. I'm gonna stay out of trouble. I'm gonna stay away from people and stay out of trouble unless it involves money. And I'm only gonna surround myself with good people. That's it. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It's just kind of like a little bit of my story, my dad's story, and how I became as fucking. I just think like, I like myself. I'm saying this video. I'm making this video because I think I'm just like my dad. Extremely smart. I literally did every goddamn thing right. You can't tell me otherwise. I did everything right, and it's going to continue. It's still. I'm 23 years old. There's so much more that's about to come. It's going to make your head spin. Like, subscribe, peace. Fuck the world.